Hello decabooters. Today we're back in Cumbria and the Lake District. We're going to be having a look around the beautiful quiet Cogra Moss in the Northwest Lakes and the hills above it, starting off with Knock Murton, working our way around to our highest point at Felldyke Fell and heading back down to the lake. Let's go.
We've driven out to the peaceful western edge of the lakes to the hamlet of Felldyke in Copeland. There's a free forestry car park tucked by the houses, making it the perfect getaway for today's Cogra Moss loop. The walk starts heading out along this quiet road lined with spring daffodils. Following the road to Cross Rigg, we arrive at the old Kelton Fell iron ore mines, which boomed in the 19th century. This once bustling industrial hub also boasted a railway line which carried over 1 million tonnes of ore down to Rowra. Nature has now reclaimed almost everything, leaving just a large spoil heap and the line of the railway. Knock Murton is packed with rich red hematite iron ore, the reason why Glasgow firm William Baird & Co dug a mine shaft into the mountain back in 1869, though again little is left today. The steep heather-clad slopes bring you to the 447 metre summit and a double wind sheltered offering protection from the Cumbrian sea breezes. peering over the edge gives a first glimpse of Cogra Moss, shimmering in the spring sunshine below.
Top of our first hill, Knock Murton, right on the northwest edge of the Lake District, and that means that you get views of the hills behind us. We've got Ennerdale where we were a few weeks ago, and then we go out to the Irish Sea and the Solway coast. Usually you can see right out to perhaps Criffle over the Solway, but today there's a bit of a haze. We'll see whether it lifts or whether it encroaches later on, and you get a little sneaky peek of a little bit of Cogra Moss before seeing some of the rest of the hills that we're going to climb. So gorgeous 360 views in the sunshine today. Let's carry on. As you start climbing up the hill to Low Pen, you'll see a little turn off to the left and you'll wonder why it's there. But it's a great idea to pop up because you suddenly get this gorgeous view back to Knock Murton and Cogra Moss. Perfect spot for a cup of tea. Cheers.
The view of the valley opens up with clear contrast between the high fells and forest landscape nestled below. The extensive coniferous plantations around Cogra Moss are managed by Forestry England, providing timber as well as rich wildlife habitat. The mix of pine forest with heather moorland above and water below creates an upland ecosystem, offering a refuge for wedge squirrels, roe deer and birds of prey. A short squelchy path goes up the grassy ridge to the 526 metre summit of Gavel Fell. While it initially appears a featureless grassy hump, it has a hidden industrial past, as just below off its eastern flanks are the forgotten shafts of an old lead mine that failed to strike it rich. But the true rewards are the incredible views to Great Bourne along the Red Pike, with Grasmere to the east.
Next stop, Gavel Fell, one of the outlying and optional fells on this walk. Not especially exciting, you get a different panorama of hills before you turn around and go back down. It adds about a mile onto the walk, so worth it if you fancy extending, but not a must do. Highest point of the day, Blake Fell, round 1. We're now going to head over to Carling Knott.
Skirting the shoulder of Blake Fell, the path veers off just short of the top to follow the wide ridge heading north to Carling Knott. On this stretch the path starts on the right, with the ground dropping away dramatically into the valley, with wide views beyond. In the haze, this upland landscape is somehow both beautiful and soft, yet isolated and wild all at the same time.
Our next stop is Carling Knott, another optional out and back on this Cogra Moss walk. This one is worth it. You get fantastic views down over Loweswater and Quarter, so it's a great spot to have yet another cup of tea in the sunshine. Let's have a look.
Beyond the cairn at Carling Knott, one of the Loweswater fells, the ground plunges away, revealing one of the most breathtaking vistas in the Western Fells. Directly below is the deep blue jewel of Loweswater, framed perfectly by home wood, with peaks of Grasmere and Melbreck rising to its right. In the spring haze you can see why Alfred Wainwright loved it, with a picture postcard view of the lakes, hills and valleys stretching out below.
highest point of the day, Blake Fell, round 2, and now it's downhill all the way back. Let's go. This time we summit Blake Fell, the highest of the Loweswater fells and highest point of our walk today at 573 metres. From the viewpoint beyond the stone shelter, it's a beautiful spot to absorb the scale of the day. In the soft afternoon sun, our day's route winds across the hills all around, starting from Knock Murton down to the shimmering waters of Cogra Moss waiting for us below. One last little stop and viewpoint at Sharp Knot before we head back down, and what a viewpoint it is, looking back to Blake Fell and around our walk down to Cogra Moss where we're heading next, and back over to Knock Murton where we were this morning. Time to head back down. The little shoulder of Sharp Knot hides the remains of a 19th century lead mine, where miners once searched for veins amid the now grassed over spoil heaps. From this perch, the trail winds down into the pine plantation established by the Forestry Commission in the 1960s. The open fells give way to the gravel track twisting through larch, lodgepole pine and towering Sitka spruce that thrive in this wet Cumbrian climate. The water of Cogra Moss glistens sparkling silver and deep blue under the spring sky. This reservoir was built in 1880 by damming Rakegill Beck to supply water to the local area, and although still dammed, the surrounding land has been reclaimed by nature. The fringes soften into a vibrant habitat of native silver birch and rowan trees above rushes, cotton grass and sphagnum moss, a haven for wildlife. Here we are back down at Cogra Moss, which we've looked at from every angle today. And now it's time at the end of our walk to relax and enjoy its peace and tranquility. Thanks for joining us. See you again soon. A flat, easy path wraps around the water of Cogra Moss, this beloved corner of Copeland. This used to be a muddy struggle until it was rebuilt as a miles without stiles route, allowing people with prams, dog walkers and wheelchair users to enjoy the full loop with ease. A legendary spot for fly fishing, it's managed by Cockermouth Angling Association, who keep it stocked with trout. This shoreline is the ultimate way to finish a spectacular spring day out in the Western Fells.